Hello, I am Regal Oliva and I am your host again for Partners in Law with the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association. And today I am very much privileged to be talking to the outstanding legal aid lawyer of the Philippines, and she is also the executive director for the Integrated Bar of the Philippines Cebu City Chapter, Attorney Grace Hermosa Casano. Hello, Grace.
Hello, Attorney Regal.
I am very happy to be with you today.
I'm so happy also to be with you today, Attorney Regal.
Kabalo mo, ang kanin magod si Grace, we are working together within IBP, and I have not encountered a lawyer who is as dedicated and as loyal to the legal aid community aside from Grace. So you really deserve the award for the outstanding legal aid lawyer for 2 consecutive terms in the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Congratulations, Grace.
Thank you so much, Attorney Regal, and I'd like to really thank you also because being with the IBP started with you.
Oh, wow.
Inviting me.
I was president then, no?
Yes, yes.
President of the IBP Cebu City Chapter, and I already saw the potential of Grace na mao gini siya, grabe kini siya ka-focus in everything that she does. So, grabe, I have to say mighty congratulations to you. Now let's go now to the topic. Okay. What is the legal aid in the IBP? Now give us a background. Unsa ning legal aid?
Well, basically, no, Attorney Regal, when we speak of legal aid, we're talking about free legal aid service, especially to the least, the lost, and the last. That's what we call it in IBP Cebu City, meaning to say we work with the marginalized, with the underrepresented groups. We also work with the underprivileged, the underserved, the unserved, as well as the people in vulnerable situations. So, but in the IBP, Attorney Regal, there's a big difference, no? When we compare it with the other organizations that are also rendering services to the community because it's legal, meaning to say there's a legal component to it.
But let me go back to what you said, Grace, because you said free legal assistance. And
yes.
we all know nga ang kaning abogado mahal. No,
yes.
They always have this conception nga mo hire kitag abogado, mahal gid ng abogado.
Yes.
Now, this is giving free legal assistance especially to the underprivileged. So kaning mga tawhanang walay kwarta, kaning mga tawhanang nga nasa urban poor community, mao ni ang ato ang mga kliyente dinhi.
Yes, Attorney Regal, when we speak of IBP as well as the other free legal aid service providers like the Public Attorney's Office as well as free legal aid clinic, we really cater to the least, the lost, and the last.
Kani imong gisulti nga Public Attorney's Office, Manggod Grace, na ani sila isweldo para maka-assist, no? O,
Yes.
makahatag og free legal assistance sa atong mga kliyente. But kining IBP, wa kay sweldo ani Grace.
There's no salary, yes. The only compensation that you have, no, is the feeling of being able to give back.
So altruistic feeling lang gid taon ni.
It's really an altruistic feeling, and at the same time, it's also taking into heart your oath as a lawyer.
Wow.
That your oath as a lawyer, Attorney Regal, no, as we say it, no, it's not just a mere oath. It's burdened with responsibility, meaning to say you have to defend those who need the most. You have to fight for social justice and meaningful freedoms.
That's nice because in everything that we do, especially as lawyers, we are advocates for social justice.
Yes.
Kung natay makita nga giapi-api sa ato ang gobyerno, giapi-api sa isig katao, ato gid nang we are advocates, so we have to stop the oppression and give everybody justice, and this is what we are doing now. What I'm telling you is that relatively you are a young lawyer, no? Daghan pag nag-una nato, but you have succeeded to be one of the greatest legal aid advocates, no, in the IBP.
That's because also of you.
No, I wouldn't say that because ako tapulan ko mag legal aid. No, I have to say. But how do you relate, no, both worlds? Ang mga tao ganahan madato, kay ganahan maabogado kay para makakwarta. Ganahan silang komportable ilang kinabuhi o makahatag sila o ganang gahin sa ilahang panimalay o ilang pamilya. Have you done that on your part? I mean, you're so dedicated. How about your other lawyer? How your other lawyering in the private life, Grace?
So, you know, Attorney Regal, no, I'm a private practitioner. I'm also a corporate lawyer.
Correct.
Many do not know that I am actually a private practitioner and specializing on corporate law. So I actually handle corporate clients, and if you notice, Attorney Regal, a lot of my clients are very, very supportive of the legal aid program in the IBP. How do we do that? No? It's just being very competent in your work, letting your clients trust the work that you do, and in that way they also see your passion and your dedication to serve the community. You know, the corporate world also has its corporate social responsibility, and so they also have to give back. And it's all about cooperation, collaboration, and partnership with the business, the private and the public sector, that you're able to fuse all these resources together and bring it back to the community.
Wow, ang imong pag-give back sa community is really admirable. Now, Grace, if I am one of the underprivileged sector, or if kanina lang yun, kung di ko ka-afford of abogado, how can I avail of free legal assistance?
Okay, so there are different organizations now that you can go to. So the first one that we would really tell you is that you go to the primary line agency, which is the public attorney's office.
Okay.
Okay. So the public attorney's office, they cater to indigent clients, and then you have to comply also with the requirements of the public attorney's office. Other than that, there's also the DOJA, that is the DOJ, the Department of Justice Action Center. Actually, they also cater, Attorney Regal, to complaints, that are brought to the Department of Justice and request for legal assistance. So they also have that center in the DOJ.
So daghan og mga organization, but how can you go to the IBP? But IBP is also an option.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It comes. The client comes to the IBP usually, when they are referred, or they just go walk in to IBP Cebu City chapter. In our case.
Where is the office of the IBP Cebu City chapter?
The office of IBP Cebu City chapter, it's located at the Capitol compound, the IBP building.
Cebu Provincial Capital Compound. As of now, pero I heard nga you're transferring.
Yes, the governor has plans to transfer us near the Department of Justice, which is a welcome development for us because it's near the PAO, the DOJ, and the other offices.
Okay. That's the new location, and it's a bigger building daw.
I heard so.
Oh wow, very good. Very at least we can cater more clients in the building of the IBP. Now, is there a qualification para mahimo kong kliyente sa IBP Legal Aid?
Yes, Attorney Regal.
Okay.
So we are guided by the National Center for Legal Aid. And the National Center for Legal Aid has also a manual that we follow when we render free legal aid service, and there's a means and merit test.
Unsa man yung means and merit test?
So, sa laktod na pagkastorya, Attorney Regal, when we speak of means, meaning kapasidad. So, do you have the capacity to hire a private lawyer? So, kaning means, we're really looking into the financial capacity of the person. So, in the IBP and in the rules of court, it means to say na you do not have an income, you and your family members combined do not have an income which is double the minimum wage.
Kung means gani imong income.
Yes.
Okay, pila atong minimum income or maximum income.
So, you karon Attorney Regal, halos ni flat na sa tasapa, which is 24,000 because the PAO.
So 24,000 a month.
Yes, a month.
Okay, if you're earning more than 24,000 a month, you cannot avail of the free legal assistance.
There is a possibility that you can avail, Attorney Regal.
Okay.
Other than that, Attorney Regal, we also have the property. So you do not have property more than 300,000. Real property, we're talking
real
about.
Property. So kung nagitay yuta sa mga mahalon nga village, you cannot avail of the free legal aid.
Yes.
Okay. Pero, kung sabi na means and merit or means or merit?
Means and merit.
Okay. Kung merit gani, what is the case all about?
Usually, Attorney Regal, we really handle public interest cases because we would look into a case whether or not the defenses that are being presented to us are just and valid because we're using our own resources, Attorney Regal. So the moment that we spend of the IBP and our private donors, we want to make sure that these resources are being used for the rule of law, no? So kinahanglan naadjud na siya ang rule of law. And another consideration also, Attorney Regal, is we want to make sure also that it doesn't also affect the private practice of law. Kay mo bitaw
Private practice nimo nga legal aid lawyer ka. Mao na?
the entire legal profession, Attorney
So
Regal.
para dili na lang tanan tawo mudagan sa IDP,
Yes.
wala nay pangita na hinuon ang
Yes,
atong mga
Attorney
uban
Regal.
abogado.
So-
Now ako pakutanan nimo, I will mention cases, ha?
Okay.
Example of cases, and you tell me if they are allowed or not. Okay. Number 1, estafa.
Under the law, Attorney Regal, no, we don't handle that, especially because it involves money usually, and there is always a consideration
no.
involved.
Okay.
Yes.
Bouncing check law.
We don't also handle bouncing
Okay.
check law.
For example, murder.
We do. We do.
You handle murder, ha? Drugs cases.
No, if I may interrupt you, Attorney Regal, you remember that the IBP Cebu City chapter was very instrumental also in prosecuting murder cases, including that of frustrated murder
Yes,
against
and
Attorney
I have to give it to you because you're one of those people who really made and prepared for all the pleadings and everything, especially for the murder of our brother lawyer, no, and also the attempted murder of our brother
we
lawyers.
assisted in the making sure that the gunman who was giving an extrajudicial confession is also protected under the rule of
Okay, now for example, child abuse.
Yes, Attorney Regal, no? So we've handled also a lot of child abuse cases.
VAUC is
Yes.
violence against women and children.
Yes, we do handle. In fact,
Human trafficking.
yes.
Wow, okay. Labor disputes.
We do handle labor disputes, but for the laborer side.
Laborers, why labot employers?
No, because they can afford and they usually have their private lawyers also and retained lawyers.
Okay,
to
go
handle
back to my
cases.
question. Kung ano mo gi-answer, drugs cases.
We do handle. In fact, Attorney Regal, no,
Unsa man ni? Drugs cases, prosecution or defense?
it's the defense
Okay.
because we handle a lot. We have our humanity behind bars, Attorney Regal, and if you look at the database, 80 to 90% of the cases of those persons deprived of liberty in the jail are actually charged with violation of the Dangerous Drugs Act.
Wow.
So
yes,
to be
that's
able
true.
to help the court decongest its docket as well as the jails to decongest the number of persons deprived of liberty.
Just give us a bird's eye view, Attorney Grace, regarding may magkaanigod nga decongestion
Yes.
of our jail. No, give us a bird's eye view. How worse is our penal institutions right now?
Well, it's like this, Attorney Regal. From the cases that are being filed, we only have 5 drugs court in Cebu City. And of that 5 drugs court, 100 cases, every month is being filed.
Filed, okay.
So there are about
this filing.
500 cases. And the
500 cases every month
Every
that are
month.
filed in these courts.
Yes.
And then pila ra ilang i-hear in 1 month.
That's why Attorney Regal, like they can only hear because of the lack of video conference equipment in the jail facility. They can only hear at least 2 times to 3 times a week. So that is also
So that would be about
congested.
8 cases only out of the 100.
Yes. And
Oh,
we're
my
talking about
goodness.
also of the facility inside the
Oh.
jail. That facility, the example, the Cebu City Jail male dormitory, that was only built for 500 to a maximum of 1,000.
Yes.
As of now, there are about 6,400.
I'm sorry, what jail is this one?
This is the Cebu City Jail.
Cebu City Jail, ha?
Male dormitory.
Instead of 1,000 na itong capacities ng maximum, we have 6,000 people there.
Yes.
How do they sleep, Attorney
So,
Grace?
it was really hard, especially during the pandemic. As we grappled with the pandemic, the basics of washing hands, social distancing, you cannot observe that in highly congested jail facility. And that's why we intervene through our Humanity Behind Bars effort, Attorney Regal.
So humanity behind bars. I like the term.
Yes.
No, there is humanity,
Yeah.
even if you are already behind bars, even if you are already a person deprived of liberty, you will find humanity.
Yes.
And these are being brought to you by lawyers, by legal aid lawyers like Attorney Grace Casano here. So that's why it's an honor to have Attorney Grace. Now, Attorney Grace, let's go to challenges.
Okay.
Kanig yung challenges, no? Mama, gini ang problema gid natong atubang pirmi. So, what is the biggest challenge that you have in your last 4 years of serving the legal aid program of the IBP? What's the pinakadakot yung mga challenge?
Well, the challenge, Attorney Regal, no, is really the financial resources. But, God provides, really. And when we work, we are provided also. It's a challenge because we only have 50,000 per quarter budget in the IBP Cebu City chapter. Each chapter is allocated that budget. But we conduct, and as you know, we conduct at least 8 to 10 major caravans. And if you quantify that caravan, Attorney Regal,
8 to 10 major caravans.
that's
Weekly?
in a month.
Oh, in a month you have
Yes.
you handle 8 caravans, huh?
Yes. In fact,
oh my goodness, I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, like 2 years ago when I was president of the, or I mean 4 years ago when I was president, I only have 1 major caravan in a year, and Attorney Grace here is holding 8 caravans. Now, I'd like to know more of the innovations of IBP Cebu City Chapter through your leadership as the Executive Director of Legal Aid when we will be back. But when we are back, we will have another guest, Councilor Dondon Hontiveros, the #1 councilor of Cebu City. So please stay tuned because Attorney Grace will be answering this in the next segment.
Adlaw. Ako si Attorney Mary Rose Salvatierra Lubino, and I will be your co-host for today's program. So with me today is the Cebuano hotshot himself, Councilor Donaldo Dondon Hontiveros. May adlaw, sir.
May adlaw, Attorney Mary Rose Lubino. The full name.
Kumusta? Long time no see?
Yes, long time no see. Thank you for having me.
You're very much welcome, sir, and we're very happy to have you here with us today. So, sir, you are better known as the Cebuano hotshot, but right now you are serving your second term as councilor, and you're also sitting as the chairman of Committee of Education, Scholarship, and Tourism. So, quite a mouthful. So, how did you get into politics, if I may ask?
Mas ganahan tingay isulti na to ang public service than politics. So, when I was started to earn, ma'am, gi-encourage ko sa akong papa to give back. So, one of those center nga amo gyapon in connection with was the Community Scout. Then I think that was the start of our public service among family. But when I retired 2017-2018, inyo kong giduol, ma'am.
Ako?
No,
Go ahead. Anybody from who influenced
there was
you?
Ernest and there was Raymond Garcia. But again, ang akong papa o akong mama who are both law enforcers na sila sa Cebu City Police Office when they were in service, and nakita na ko ilang pag-serve. And there was opportunity. I talked to then Mayor Labella and Mayor Mike Rama na dong, it's time for you to give back. And they gave me a slot sa council. So yes, that was the start.
2019, yes.
2018 pa to, ma'am.
2018, yes. But I remember that there were few months of going back and forth with
yes. Yes, kind of no.
Yes. So, how was your first term as city councilor?
So man akong best word to describe it. I guess learning experience, considering it was a first term and daghang kay challenges, we all know that. But I would say very rewarding.
Yeah. So if you will remember, sir, looking back, what was the most significant experience of your first term?
Was to learn from those great guys, from Mayor Labella, then Vice Mayor Mike Rama, and of course my fellow councilors. Kiingnan dyan ko ni Mayor Mike Rama. Don't connect with Philip Sapra, connect with Edu Rama, connect with Attorney Joy Pesquera, connect with those guys. Nakaka-question, make sure you get the right information before you make a decision. So again, it was really enriching and very rewarding for me.
So there was also a few times that you, as a neophyte councilor, there were a few times that you had to be temporary presiding officer. So
Yes.
how was that like? Because neophyte councilor, and then automatically with these veterans in the session hall, you will preside over them.
In the surface, I look good kay nindot man mi tanan, ma'am, but diri gid sa pubos nagkalisod jud ko ato. I remember the first session that I have to preside. There was a deliberation because would it be then the late Tony Cuenco, kay siya man ang presiding protector, and nag-discuss, and si Dondon. So ako, walay preparation. I have just to go through. And there was a time I was sa Councilor Lee Abson man siya magyuna sa tubangan. Mr. Chair, wala pa ni mo na bang ang gavel, and make sure you bang the gavel before you allow the corollary motions. And then okay, yes. But yeah, para maingon jud ko, very rewarding because the brilliant councilors, the experienced councilors, they were all helping first-timer.
You had to learn on the spot,
Yes,
but
yes.
also you were guided by these
Yes.
veteran counselors. So that was good, I think. And there were a few times when I watched the council sessions and
Late
it's-
na human, ma'am, no?
yeah.
Kung ako may preside, no?
No, not
Because
really.
I have to listen to both
Yes.
sides ba? And ang ma'am gigingon nila nga, you have to give, even the minority, you have to give them their time to explain and propound their ilang gitaw, ilang stand.
So is it safe to say that the second term is already an easier tenure for you?
In a way, it looked easy, but then again, naman sa gibuhat si Vice Mayor Raymond Garcia in the House rules nga madali ra gyud sa duguman ng session, and we have an executive session as well in the mornings of Wednesdays para adto dito ma-discuss, and di na mahitabo to when I was presided nga maabot gitong 8 p.m. o 7 p.m. So yeah, naigipang-usab si Vice Mayor Raymond.
So can we talk about a little bit, sir? Late 2021, you succeeded as vice mayor. So you were just a neophyte councilor, and automatically, or by some circumstance, you succeeded as vice mayor. So how was the transition like, and how was the difference in duties like?
Well, I have to prepare extra, and the good thing, ma'am, then Vice Mayor Mike Rama already had the plans laid out. Ako na lang ang nag-implement sa iyang programs, the River Management Council, the workshop with our lupons and other environment nga under sa Vice Mayor. Igo radyo ko no-implement. I think I look good kay ako ang nag-implement, but it's really the brains of then Mayor Labella and then Vice Mayor Raymond Garcia. Igo ra ko nag-implement. Ako ray makita sa newspaper. Unfair kay sa akong mga uban konsehal. Ako ray nindo tanahon, but they were guiding me and helping me.
So I would remember, sir, that Mayor Mike Rama and Mayor Edgar Labella were the ones your eager suitors gid kaayo. So
Yeah. Yes.
so can you talk about your 3 committees in City Hall right now?
Yeah. On my first term as scholarship, we asked the council to support our TechVoc program for those out-of-school youth. They were our scholars, then nahunong silang eskwela for some reason. Then we asked them to avail of this TechVoc program in partnership with Don Bosco. Kay kami pagsud na mo ni Attorney Jerome pato before pag 2019, sa scholarship committee, we're really encouraging atong mga estudyante for TechVoc. Of course, di ta makabuot nila if they decide for the 4-year course or 5-year. It depends sa ilang career pathing exam, but we were encouraging TechVoc. So that time, amo gid silang encourage of the 25 students nga among gihatag opportunity, mga 22, 23 nakatiwas, a certain percentage, I would say a high percentage ang nakadawat nagtrabaho, because knowing Don Bosco naman na sila partnership with other private companies. One of that is Shunichi. So that's a scholarship committee with regards to tourism. This term I was tasked by Attorney Joy Pesguera being the chairman along with the private sector. Iya kong gitaas sa katong pag-revive sa atong Colon Night Market. It was part of the tourism as well. Ang kaning atong gihatag o gi-expose pagid nato mayong SRP. So we had that sports coastal tourism, and dito na apil ang skateboarding community. Nakaduwa sila dito. We have our archery and pickleball. There were other sports related nga to promote coastal tourism.
Okay. So speaking of sports, so being the Cebuano hotshot, dili gihapon nimo ipadaplin ang imuhang pagka-basketballista. So how do you juggle your life as a public servant and as a basketball enthusiast?
Well, supposedly weekends, to be spent with family, but it was opportunity on weekends also to visit our mountain barangays. But on weekends as well, especially nabalik na ang atong sports, I get to be invited with mga private sector to play, even different LGUs, ma'am. Naabot na kong Bukidnon. I've been to other municipalities outside Cebu City. 2 weeks ago, I was in Leyte. Naka-absent kay ko sa Thanksgiving ni Mayor Mike. But then again, it was really an opportunity. And the good thing is, of being a player, you get paid to do what you love. Hatagan good mi nila appearance fee, di lang kong mention pila. But dako juga katabang, and mo na ikaabot nako sa office na nakoy donation from the conduct sa time mo check nako sa a pile of solicitation.
Yes.
So dito nako kuhaon mama ang kanang kuan. So kinsa tong ganahan nga LGU mo invite nako, I'm open. So yeah. And juggling, especially nakatiwas ko sa akong itiyak, ma'am, it's really having that time management as well. And also, Buraganig, I'm grateful nga nasa ko'y uban nga staff mga ma-accommodate. Like for example, if di ko makasud sa online class, I make sure ikay musud na ko. Natagi na lang kog report ikaw Monday. Unsa na makasabot raman sa mga extra sa itiyap, ma'am. Or musud na lang ko kuha na kong module dito sa itiyap office sa UC.
So on that note, you are kanang delivering the message nga it's never too late. You can have your passion and your service and also pursue your education at the same time. Right, sir?
Yes, nindo jugay na nga message, ma'am. Kay I was one ni bisita ko to deliver the message from the mayor sa atong mga graduates sa elementary and national high school. And I remember one of the speaker mentioned it nga, there's always room for growth and learning. And naigo ko ato kay I'm 40 plus nila I mentioned na dinoon, pero there was an opportunity for me to finish through the ATF program, and it's a message to the kids out there, especially sa akong anak.
Yes, high eyes. So, any other plans for future plans for Cebu City that you'd like to take advantage of at this time?
Well, I'll grab this opportunity, ma'am, under masana ko ang Cebu City Youth Development Commission, and we have this youth tracer target good namo. If you remember ang katong message ni Monsignor Alesna during the reorganizational session, he said nga we were mandated to be decisive, but before of being decisive you have to be incisive. So getting that right information before you make a decision. So importante kayo karon ang among Cebu City Youth Development Commission, atong mga youth tracers, nag-training rin sila, then they go to the ground to really get those, ang message ni Mayor Mike Rama is nobody should be left behind. So atong mga out of school youth, ato ginang ikon sila, mag house to house gina sila. So I hope they are open, they're looking forward nga na mo bisita nila from our office to check nga kani sila nga nung sila eskwela, ganahan ba sila mo tiwas og eskwela, ganahan ba sila mo trabaho, ganahan ba sila magnegosyo. Kaya again, we have this partnership in time pa og Mayor Labella katong USAID, ma'am, and they donated laptops to our ALS teachers, and again really targeting out of our out of school youth.
Ka ng tuk-tuk sa atong mga youth.
Yes, tuk-tuk sa atong youth.
So you call them youth tracers.
Youth tracers. So hopefully atong mga naminaw karon atong mga ginikanan nga na ilang mga anak nga wa nakatiwas sa eskwela nga may maabot na mi didto inipibaw gid nila unsa gid ilang need o ilang direction sa ilang anak.
So, if kaning mga youth tracers, sir, manuktok sila, they ask around, and what if na ay mga resistance na di lang may anak, wa may kwarta, unsa may atong
Dili igo raman magkuha raman mig right information for the council to decide, like a certain percentage would be going back to school, so naa diha atong ALS kung ganahan sila magnegosyo naa sa tay mga ginatawag nga agi sila og training or seminars before they being accepted or ma-absorb. And we have that partnership with WIPRO sa mga ilang i-train ang mga senior high students before ma-absorb sila sa ilang company.
So we profile them and probably direct them
Yes.
to available Cebu City programs that they can
Yes.
take advantage of.
Yes.
Like kanang SPES na to,
Yes.
ang ato ang livelihood programs
Yes.
and DMDP
Yes.
and also DS. Very nice cause.
Thank you, Attorney Mo.
So if we can go back just a little bit, Cons, no? Unsa may pinaka
Tapos ako ano sa imong question, ma'am? Ano sa imong ipadaan?
unsa may pinaka-challenge nimo during your entire tenure sa Cebu City government as a public servant?
I think the katugid nga time on COVID, I mean, really we were nahunong gyud tanan nato nga mga plans, and of course Mayor Labelia's direction, and he has plans to achieve on his first term, nahunong gyud tanan, and there was no or a concrete book to follow. Igo ra gyud ta what's the best practice of that LG, what's the best practice of the kita unsa gyud brag nag-share practices ta on how to go about it. And yeah, kami may gihatag task ni Attorney Joy Pesquera dito sa quarantine facility, and it was really a challenge because there was ingon ni Sir Mike, because siya ang health kinahanglan masugdan na ni mahuman na ni, and we have to procure things, and kibaw ta lisod kay ang process, ma'am, and emergency purchase and everything. So yeah, that was the most challenging time.
Okay, so Cons, I would like you to elaborate more on your other plans for Cebu City, maybe your plans in 2025 or whatever, Cons. But
Unsa man ang 25? Oh, election din ang
election,
25.
next election year. So, but you will answer that after our break.
And so we're back, and this time I'm here with Maru, and thank you very much for hosting the second segment. Of course, we also have Attorney Grace Casano, our Executive Director for Legal Aid of the IBP, and of course the #1 Councilor, Cebu's Hotshot. Kay may medyo kini siya mo shoot during PBA days niya. Councilor Dondon Hontiveros. So thank you very much to both of you for guesting in the Partners of Law for Cebu Lady Lawyers Association. Maru, you came from what question? And I think we have to hear the answer of Councilor Dondon.
So I was asking Councilor Dondon Hontiveros on his plans, other plans for Cebu City, not just on his committees in the City Council, but in general. And also, are there any future plans for him come 2025?
So yeah, being part of the Sports Commission, we already made known that we're bidding for the Palarong Pambansa 2024. This coming Friday will be our last day to bid, and to give me sa DepEd. And aside from that, mag-start na sa datong grassroots program. It's to be implemented, and again, the direction of Mayor Mike, nobody should be left behind, because for some time ang atong mountain barangay mabiyaan yun. So I ask reinforcement from I form a team nga mo-promote sa Cebu City through sports, and they'll be going with us sa mga mountain barangays. And not only that, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, nakig-partner sa with Wilson. Nihatag sila.
Wilson
is a
katong
company sa sports.
racket. Okay, katong bola sa basketball.
Wala ta. Ang rackets lang.
Racket, tennis. Okay.
Nihatag sila nato og mga 40 rackets for our grassroots program.
Oh, that's nice, ha?
Yeah, and
Anong 40 ra? Wilson, you might want to add.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Pwede din mo mupuno pag yun. And mubisita ta. Right now, atong grassroots program sa tennis is na diya sa South, sa Bulacau and Poblacion Pardo. We'll visit other barangays nga na ay tennis courts like ang Kasambagan, ang Banila.
Oh, how nice, no?
So mabisita gid namo, and there are other barangays as well. Hopefully sa mountain barangays mabisita.
So mainly your concentration as councilor is really through sports.
Yes.
Because of
Mao man ang
course,
gihatag
Dondon
nila.
Hontiveros line po kayong lahi, di ba?
Yes,
It should be sports, no? Because
Attorney Regal,
yes.
if I may add, the internationally heralded dance sport is also
Yes.
from Cebu City, and we have grassroots
Amazing.
program
Yes.
for that.
And I remember them performing during our Celia night.
Yes,
Yeah,
beautiful.
they're so amazing.
Thank
So
you,
if anyone-
Chairman Ed Haiko.
Yes.
Oh, yes, as
PSC
usual,
chairman.
no?
PSC chairman.
As usual. Ed Haiko, my bow to you and felicitations also forever.
So if there are kids that want to get into the grassroots program, see Councilor Dondon and
Mabisita sa
Hontiveros.
among opisina.
Are we ready for palarong pambansa, Councilor?
We are ready.
Oh! Yes, they closed the swimming pool. Okay, baka nagreklamo
Yes.
ako mga kids.
Sorry
Because
to
they
kayo.
wanted to have lessons in the Cebu City Sports Center, but then you closed it because you wanted to improve it for
renovation.
for
It has to be
palarong pambansa.
it has to be in accordance with the guidelines of the national agency.
Wow,
Mao na
okay.
atong oval mag-start na sa taog rehab, and there are other, again, I would grab this opportunity sa atong mga private institution nga ni partner sila namo na mga 22 venues for different discipline sports.
So aside from Abellana, there will be different venues.
Yes.
Okay, wow. We look forward to that one, especially sa mga neighboring cities. At least it will be nearer.
Yes.
No. And Mindanao and Luzon will also come to Cebu na at this time. I
And
think
and perfect for family. Like for example,
Yes.
once they're done with the Palarong Pambansa, they can visit different LGUs.
correct. We will pray for Cebu City's success in Palarong Pambansa kasi kontra ninyo, Councilor. Kasi kontra niyo sa bidding.
Antique and Negros. So this Friday na we will present
wow.
we will present our bid.
So almost all from Visayas.
Visayas
no?
kay Luzon, then Visayas and Mindanao, Luzon and Visayas and Mindanao.
So this one now is Visayas turn.
Yes, Visayas.
Oh, okay. Now I'll go back to also the question of
Yes, because you mentioned, Attorney Regal, that with Mayor Mike Ramos' direction is no man should be left behind.
Correct.
So in the mountain barangays, we've also carried on our programs from City Hall, the City Hall at your doorsteps. So I've heard, jumping off your question
yes,
with
about the innovations
Yes.
of IBP Cebu City when it comes to legal aid.
Okay, Attorney Regal, no? So when we speak of innovations, no, we really made sure that our legal aid programs now with the IBP is really meaningful. Pasabot ana no na we do not just do spur of the moment legal aid. It has to be really conceptualized well ang atong legal aid service. So among our legal aid services no is really we have partnership with the Cebu City government. We collaborate with international actors and state actors. And so kaning ato ang partnership with the Cebu City government, that is our community-based legal aid service. So we have the citywide legal aid caravan back-to-back with the City Hall at your doorstep of the Cebu
Citywide
City
Legal Aid Caravan. See, Councilor Dondon, naka-join na ka niya ang legal aid caravan?
Yes, but among nasugdan sa on my few months as Vice Mayor, kami ni Councilor Philip Zapka. In direction good again is dito mi sa Mountain Barangay.
Wow, okay.
Na akong mga abogado, naasa may abogado from sa City Legal, and as well, not only that, nasa mga different agencies nga ni Antos.
Oh, nice. So, small atong partnership
Yes.
with the city
So we
government.
provide the national agency partners, no, and they provide the 27 departments of the Cebu City government. So
And we have to tell you, Councilor, because of what because of that, katong bonbon na to, that started
Yes.
the whole
Yes.
partnership
Yes.
of Cebu City Government and the
Yes.
IBP Cebu City.
Kay pait kay attorney nga sila may mo anhi diri nya layo pa kayo.
So if na dili familiar
Yes.
kon, City Hall at your doorstep is the project of the Cebu City Government, of course through Mayor Michael Rama, that whatever services that we have from the 27 departments in Cebu City Hall, so you don't have to go to Santo Niño, mamroblema pa mo sa parking.
Yes.
City Hall will go to your barangay.
Councilor, how many times man ni siyang bubuhaton?
From what I understand, it should be every
Friday.
Yeah,
Every Friday. And part ang IBP Cebu City and Eleni
Yes,
Grace.
and actually for the last year, no, the last term of the IBP president, we were able to have already 120 legal aid caravans, no, and in
With
every,
the Cebu City Government.
Yes,
Wow.
Attorney Regalo.
Unsay, okay, because you were mentioning kanina, Attorney Grace, nga financial ang one of the challenges.
Yes.
No? So what financial contribution did the Cebu City Government help with your program?
Well, you know what, Attorney Regal, when we started with the legal aid, no, we have to provide even the tents. So, partnership with the City Hall is a lot of that. So, they already have the DPS or DGS would already set up these tents. When we go to the mountain barangays, not all barangays are equipped, with sports complex. So, they provide that to us already. We also receive depende ni siya, Attorney Regal, because it's really our thrust, that we do not ask from the LGU or especially the barangay, but if the barangay can really provide also for the meals of the service providers, then that would also ease up the need for us to allocate some budget for food of our volunteers.
So unsa man ni siya, barangay ra gyud ang nigasto ani tanan or pati ang syudad?
I think, Attorney Regal, no, it's really the barangay that spends for the food, but not all, Attorney Regal. So if the barangay does not have the resources, it's really the IBP that provides for our meals, and it's the City Hall that provides for the meals of the service providers from the city government.
Service providers from the city government. Attorney Maru, you're with the Cebu City Government. Interviewon te kog appeal. Unsa ang ato ang mga services nga gi-provide sa IBP?
So, sa Cebu City Government.
Yes.
So, naanay mga free medical checkup, of course, free legal assistance with our City Legal Office and the IBP Legal Aid, and katong mga naglisod sa ilahang PSA documents, Philippine Statistics Authority, katong sports, mga birth certificate, ganang late registration.
Free na siya, Councilor Don?
Yeah.
Free
Yes.
ang imuhang service. But
Okay.
if there are filing needed with
Kanang publication, mahal man na siya.
That's what we cannot address as of the
Yes.
moment,
Yes.
Attorney Regal, no? But
Okay.
we have this part, the Philippine Statistics Authority, as well as the Office of the City Civil Registrar, has this partnership already with the Cebu City Government. So if they can present a certificate of indigency,
Yes.
the filing fee for delayed registration is already covered, and it's for free.
Pati publication.
No, not with the publication.
So wapay labot ng publication. So katunay problema, katong wala pa nakaparehistro sa ilang mga anak, man late registration siya. Ang kwan na gid ani is that you have to spend for the publication na lang.
Yes.
So
Yes.
wala na gasto ang uban. Publication na lang. So
Wala.
asa sila mga certificate of indigency?
So they go to the barangay that they are residing, no, and everything will be given for free. So from the time that they go to the office of the city civil registrar, they will assess their documents. So kung unsay kulang ana ang mga affidavits, Attorney Regal, we will just submit it to the office of the city civil registrar, and as I mentioned, if do na sila certificate of indigency, libre na sad na siya ang registration.
Unsa pay lain gi provide ninyo, Councilor?
Well, there will be our engineering department as well.
Yes.
Again, different departments.
Unsa may buhat
If-
engineering?
if na-request for footpaths.
Okay.
So you can
kanang wala-
file it
kay
and
lapok
it's
kaayo in
funding.
town.
Yes, you can file it while we have the City Hall at your doorstep.
Alright.
And even our DMDP
What is the meaning of DMDP? Kaya pirmigin may makadong ano sa meaning ng DMDP?
Department of Manpower and Development Placement.
Nasa line meaning siya.
Unsa mo na? Unsa may yung meaning nino?
Dugang makahibawaan, dugang panginabuhian.
Yes.
Nice, ha?
Nice.
Okay, that's very nice. So, what do you provide sa DMDP?
Sa DMDP, they teach about livelihood programs. So, ang akong na-attenan sa una is soap making, candle making.
That's nice.
Yes.
Oh.
And the empanada making, and also
Uy,
haircut.
asa na empanada
massage.
making? Because my favorite is empanada
Massage.
without cheese. Uy, na massage?
Yes.
Wow,
We
okay.
have massage. Nga, ihatag.
Dili lang ni para sa mga PWD nga massage, ha?
No.
Okay.
So we have our
And then you give
instructors.
certificates.
Yes.
Oh, because I know for a fact that spas, dili na sila mo hire. O kung wala certificate, no?
Yes, that's
So DMDP is, kuha na siya with TESDA.
Yes, accredited sila with
Alright.
TESDA.
So aside from DMDP, aside from the engineering, the PSA,
DSWS.
CSWS also.
DSWS.
Okay. What's yung provide nila?
It's the Department of Social Welfare Services of the city. So naa din ha ang offices of the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs Office, nasa din ha ang PWD office, nasa din ha ang Solo Parents Office, no? So those solo parents, they can go there if they want to apply for reliefs, no, as a solo parent. Other than that, naasad ang services sa PWD office ninyo, no? They render to the persons with disabilities. So kung kinahanglan mo og mga ID, PWD ID, then you go to the officers in charge. Nga nasa din na Attorney Regal ang, of course, ang tabang nato sa ato ang mga senior citizens.
How would we know the schedule of this caravan?
Oh, actually, Attorney Regal, no, there's a schedule of the caravan and it's posted sa city government website as well as sa ato ang IBP Cebu City Chapter website. So in fact, it's weekly and naa na didto kung unsa nga mga barangay ang among adtuon, and usually naa jud na siya sa sports complex of the barangay.
So karon Miyerkules man ta karon atong takna. So on Friday asa ang ato ang
July 14, we will be at Pulang Bato, no? It's a mountain barangay, so we go to the
That's in Talamban area.
remotest- Yeah.
Oh.
Sa sunod Leo.
sa padung pitos, no?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. Layo na siya. Pulang bato, red ang mga stones nga there.
Pasay pa ato, Attorney.
Wala pa kadto, but you will be there.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Pero develop na kayong Pulang Bato, Grace.
I have not
Yeah,
been
it
there.
is very developed because nag-bike ko nga to during pandemic, naghanap kayo ko development there.
Mag-bike niya ta, Attorney Regal.
Di na ko mabalik
Ah,
yung bike. Di na ko. You know, after ning gawas na ning mga sakyanan after the pandemic cons, di na ko mabalik. Kaya murag nahadlok na ko kaman. Madisgrasya ta. Holding hands na lang ko. Maru, do you have any questions sa atong legal aid?
Sa legal aid, ang kong question ato is that what sort of affidavits can our clients avail of na free? And unsa tong kuan, deed of sale, free ng deed of sale, mga
Dili na.
Oh, well, Attorney Maru, no, we're talking about free legal aid service. So, ang atong ilibre, Attorney Maru, those without monetary consideration. So, maghisgot na tag deed of sale, extrajudicial settlement of estate, wala siya ilabot sa
So di ta mo notaryo ana sa during legal aid, ha?
Yes.
During our caravan wala ilabot ang pag-notarize og mga deed of sale.
Yes.
Alright.
Ato mo sa private lawyer, ano kay protektaran sa nato ang private practice of law. Pero kung maghisgot ta sa free legal aid service, naa din ha ang ato ang libre nga konsulta, libre nga paghimo sa mga legal documents.
Affidavit of loss, pwede?
Yes,
Okay,
Attorney Regal.
alright.
And then we also make especially no kanang mga masunugan, mo ginay pinaka-important nila nga pangayoon dayon mga affidavit of loss. Other than that, all birth and civil registration documents, parehaan ng affidavit of two disinterested persons, affidavit of kanang to use the surname of the father, affidavit of acknowledgement of paternity, tanan na siya nga mga legal documents required by the Office of the City Civil Registrar and PhilSys and PSA, we can draft it for free.
Cons Dondon, what's your plan for 2025?
Yeah, I think it,
2025.
wala dito siya
Wala na muna sa
natubag.
na-answer. Before we end this program, we'd like to hear your plans for 2025.
Mayor
Maybe you
Mike,
want to say it in this program.
okay.
On the spot na siya. You heard it first.
Well, kibaw mo gid si Mayor Mike sa akong direction. No? Ako gingingon nga, sir, I want to be a coach or I want to manage a team nga puro gid Cebuano players. And if there's an opportunity for me to go back to the private sector, and right now, I'm still consultant with Phoenix. So if nara ko'y free mo, bisita dyan ko dito. And I form a team that will represent Cebu sa 21 under. So passion yun na
Passion
ko
gid nimo yung
i-share
basketball.
akong knowledge
Wow,
and
nice.
give opportunity sa kaning mga batanon.
So
nga
politically,
mailang-
walay plano?
magsunod-sunod naman dyan ko asa ang flow.
Okay.
And there's an opportunity for me nga makabisita sa other LGUs, makakonect ko nila, and grateful kay kuno kay makahinumdum gyapon sila. I think during the time of pandemic ni sikat kog balik kay ipagawas man nila kanang mga highlights ba. So
Yes, correct,
So,
correct. And
so-
everybody was in their was on their
Exactly.
screens, no?
So-
Attorney Grace, any last words for our viewers when it comes to legal aid? Unsaon nila pag-contact si Attorney Grace Casano kay kung mangayo sila tabang nga legal?
So, if you need legal assistance no sa atong mga tagpaminaw, tigtanaw sa partners-in-law, kung magkinahanglan mo og assistance no, naara gyud ang City Government of Cebu, naasad ang IBP Cebu City Chapter, and of course, the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association. So you can contact the IBP Cebu City Chapter. It's located at the IBP building of the Capitol compound, and at the same time you can also check our Facebook page. Naasad may online legal aid portal, Attorney Regal, no, because we have already been into a data-driven no na approach to legal aid. So doon na may ma-flash ni nato sa screen later on ang ato ang site where you can contact us.
Okay, and to close our program, may we ask Councilor Dondon and Hontiveros for your last words?
well, sakto gitong giingon no. Nobody should be left behind. I hope atong viewers makibaw nga ni duol sa ilaha ang City Hall through that program, and hopefully maka-avail yun sila kay unfortunately they would say wa sila na duol pero naagid me ready gid me motabang, and feel free to visit our office.
Thank you, Attorney Grace, for discussing to us IBP Cebu City's legal aid program, and of course, Councilor Dondon Hontiveros for sharing to us what the Cebu City government can contribute to society, especially in terms of sports. I hope this will not be the last time that you will be guesting for Partners-in-Law. I am Regal Oliva, and I'm joined by...
Attorney Mary Rosa Latiera Lubino.
Thank you for joining us. See you soon.